Do you ever experience that where you feel like a lot of the people that you're seeing are forced to be there if they're a kid, or are they like usually very excited to be there?
It really depends. So, and also what the kind of therapy I'm doing really determines if I'm going to get a group of people that don't want to see me. So, like when I first started doing therapy, I did intensive family preservation therapy, IFP, which is just a fancy therapy that people involved with DHHS or the state, like CPS and whatnot, or probation, kiddos, like teenagers basically, they utilize IFP as like the last ditch effort to keep the family unit together outside of like seeking either group homes or foster care or whatnot. And most of them did not want to see me. Most of them, they're like, well, it's a crappy situation. We're not having a great time. We're dealing with all these people coming into our house. And now here's one or two more people now I have to deal with. Cause in IFP, you have like a skill builder with you. So I had a person with me for each case. So it's like two more appointments or more a week because I had set hours I had to meet. So I got a lot of, mainly the probation kids did not want to deal with me because they were ornery teenagers dealing with stuff that they know they weren't supposed to do, and now they have to suffer the consequences of having people talk to them all the time. Um, so at that point, I had a lot of kids that just did not care, that would just ignore me. Like I had one laying in bed, and I like stood outside of his room, just like, "All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna meet," and he just ignored me completely. And after
Oh,
about 10 minutes, I was like, "Okay, well, I guess we're gonna cancel the session. I'll let your probation officer know, and I'll see you next week." So it was
do
fun.
they? So you can cancel it if like that happens. You can just be like, well, we're not getting
Oh
anywhere.
yeah. If there's times where, yeah, if they're just completely ignoring me, or I've also had kids come in. This is more recently now. I have a kiddo that she's got some developmental things, so sometimes she's not in the mood for therapy, and so if she comes in and she's not in the mood to meet and is just yelling, not having a good time, I'm just like, let's just not. Why force you to sit for 30, 45 minutes with me when it's just going to make things worse for your day? So I can kind of determine that usually with the parents' permission, obviously, and usually they agree, like, yeah, we don't need to do this today. We can just be done.
So do you still get paid for that?
No, not anymore. When I did other jobs, like through agency, I would get paid because obviously they had like set salaries and like whatnot. But working for myself, because right now I own my own private practice. And so I work directly with the insurance companies. I send them my bill, they pay me. But if my client doesn't show up, I don't get paid. Technically, you can charge a client like a late fee or a missed fee, like if they no show or whatnot. Cancellations like that, I wouldn't do that because I just don't think that's just not fair. Like, you can't really control that. But I can't do it if they're Medicaid though. So a lot of times with Medicaid clients, because that's just a rule of thumb they have, you can't do that. If they don't show up or no show me, then it's like, well,
Well,
there
what if
goes my
they
sick.
show up but they just don't talk?
If they don't talk, I mean, that's whatever. I've sat in rooms like back when I did IFP mostly, I would sit and just like wait, wait at least 15 minutes so I can bill, like whatnot. But and sometimes like nowadays with like my kiddos that I have, if they sit and don't talk to me, usually I just talk to their parents instead and like try to get something productive out of the session. I'm pretty flexible with my kiddos that have a hard time because I do have a lot of kids that have hard symptoms and hard issues, trauma, like really bad situations that they've dealt with, or just difficult symptoms that little kids shouldn't have to deal with, but they just got not great diagnoses like ADHD and ODD and all these other things. So I'm flexible with them and try to like get at their level because I know they're children and
Yeah.
they don't get it. They don't understand what's going on. They just know this is how they feel, and so I try to be very laid back with them. Still like structure, like I'm just not gonna just do nothing the whole time or like completely ignore what I'm instructing them to do if we're doing an activity. Like I still have boundaries and rules, and sometimes have to like redirect them, but it's not outside of that. I mean, that's really, I'm pretty easy with that stuff on if they want to meet or not.